Okay. Wow. I really got to say that today was an excellent representation so far of what the last few weeks have kind of been like. It's been a dead sprint. I'm down on the Kenai River with my son, and we set up camp and we're gonna start fishing. We started fishing a little bit earlier today, but we really just scraped the surface on how many fish we're planning on catching while we're out here. The last couple of weeks were super fun. I kind of want to touch base on that real quick and just kind of go over, you know, different things that have happened. And then I want to set up and real quickly just talk about what we're doing here and what happened today. So we took a second trip out to Seward. If you watched all the videos from Seward, then you kind of have a feel for how it is and everything. It's good that we got those up because the second trip videos didn't make it. We really figured out that high tide, or actually really the incoming tide, specifically in the evening, was where we've had the most luck. And that's just kind of the specific spot where Resurrection Bay meets Resurrection River, the time of the year that we were there and everything else. So don't think you're gonna have the exact same experiences. Experiences may vary as all things do here in Alaska. And we got really excited one night. We were catching fish after fish. I mean, we were as quick as we could get them off the hook, and we were back in the water. We were catching more fish, and it was amazing. There was a really beautiful moment that I wish that I had the video for, where, I mean, I'm not even kidding. I could have taken one step, reached out and touched this eagle that was eating a salmon, and and it was really cool because there were a bunch of people out there and nobody messed with the eagle, and the eagle wasn't messed with anybody. Everybody was just kind of like respect, on both sides. We were both out there getting dinner, enjoying Alaska, and it was really amazing. It was really beautiful, and I wish that I had the video for it. And I'm going to tell you why I don't have any videos from that trip here. So we stayed, we fished the incoming tide, and it was amazing. I had looked up the tides and I knew when they were, and I had kind of a like an inkling, like, oh yeah, it's a 12-foot tide. Well, the week prior that we had gone, or the previous trip, I guess I should say, it was a 7-foot tide, is what we were looking at for high tide. And I didn't really think about how much those 5 extra feet would make a big difference to the areas and the places and the ground and kind of places that I was planning on retreating to as the tide was coming in. And at a certain point, we were trapped out there. I ended up trying to find just like any way that I'm like, all right, maybe there's a way, someplace, a shallow part in one of the streams that we can find our way out. And I fell in. I'm normally really good about not slipping, not falling, not getting in too deep or whatever, and I was completely soaked. My waders filled up with water, and all the video and everything that I had, my entire phone, my wallet, my license, my fishing license, everything was completely soaked. And I was like, wow, this is a good lesson for getting a dunnage bag, which we have several now. Lessons learned. A little bag like this, all of costs $10, and it will keep everything dry and protect several thousand potentially dollars investment between phone and wallet, car keys, all this sort of stuff. We caught a bunch of fish. We had a good time, and then we got stuck out there. After I fell in, it was just like, okay, we're cold, we're wet, and now we're stuck out here, unless we're gonna basically swim out. The fish themselves was a heavy load too. It was really intense to try and even just manage getting that out. And I had to be mindful of my little brother and my son too about, hey, how much can we do here? How much effort is it going to be to safely get out? And ultimately, What it came down to was me shivering for about 2 hours. I took my waders off and wrung out the water from the clothes I was wearing, tried to dry them off as best I could. And we hid in some grass to try and get out of the wind a little bit. And we waited for the tide to go out. We waited 2 hours until it was low enough that we managed to find our way out of there. And we got back to camp, and I was like, cool, we got the fish tomorrow. We're headed straight for the showers. The military resort in Seward has a really excellent campground with showers, and it was awesome to take a really nice long hot shower at about 3 in the morning just to warm up. And we got some sleep, and the next day we were like, I think we're done fishing, let's go ahead and we're gonna go home. We went home and we had a bounty of fish. We ate them for days. We had fillet after fillet, put a bunch in the freezer. All in all, about 4 months worth of salmon for the whole family. Caught almost all within about 90 minutes of each other, magic hour if you will, right there in Seward. We went and checked out the Russian River, which was really fun. They doubled the limit. They were like, hey, we were meeting our escapement goals and everything else. Go ahead and have at, you know. And we're like, yeah, I think we will. We went out there and we caught one as a family, which was fun. It was nice to get some fresh salmon, put it on the table, you know. Getting in eggs, just having salmon and putting your scrambled eggs in the morning is a treat all in itself. And now it's time for dip netting. When we pulled up, it's kind of like a loading unloading zone only. You're not allowed to park, so we just pulled everything out of the truck, parked the truck in the parking area, and then we're like, cool, let's start dragging everything over and find a place to camp. And it started raining on us. So we were like, oh no, we gotta scramble, we gotta get everything in out of the rain. And we threw our raincoats on top of our bags with our clothes in it and our sleeping bags. We're just like, oh no. We scrambled, we got the tent set up, we started loading things into the tent, and then it stopped raining. And that's Alaska. If you don't like the weather, just wait 20 minutes, it's fine. It took us about 2 hours to get set up, and we're like, hey, we've got a few minutes until the girls show up. Let's get in the water. We'll just, that way we can get out there and we have some fun, And this is not an exaggeration. I didn't even get my net all the way out into the water, as deep and as far as I was going to go and everything. And I already had a salmon in there, and it blew my mind. I was in total shock that we caught one that fast. So I was like, okay, wow. I really hope that this sets the pace for the whole trip. We went through, we caught 9 fish in about 30 minutes. And that blew my mind. I was like, this is shocking. My son with a smaller net and a shorter pole was still catching them. Just about as fast as I was too. I was just shocked, absolutely shocked. So we loaded down the fish that we got, marked them on our permit, and then said goodbye to the girls because they already got a whole cooler full to take home, vacuum seal, and put in the freezer.